Under the scorching sun of the American Wild West, a picturesque morning unfolds. Meet Buster Scruggs, a charismatic cowboy astride his trusty steed, traversing the vast and desolate expanse with an air of contentment. As his melodic voice carries through the air, Buster fills the solitude with soulful country tunes. At first glance, Buster appears to be the epitome of elegance and charm, donning the attire of a refined cowboy. Yet, hidden beneath this veneer lies a chilling truth: he is the most notorious and treacherous gunslinger in the entire region. With a long list of murders to his name, Buster is not just a cowboy, but a fugitive on the run, wanted by the law. During his journey, Buster stumbles upon a humble tavern, a beacon of life amidst the desolation. Curiosity piques his interest, and he decides to venture inside. The moment he steps through the creaking doors, he is greeted by the sight of weary cowboys, seeking solace and respite from the unforgiving wilderness. Making his way towards the bar, Buster approaches the weathered bartender with a request for a shot of whiskey. To his dismay, the bartender vehemently denies his plea, for the golden elixir is considered contraband in these parts. However, in a nonchalant manner, the bartender mentions an intriguing exception: whiskey is surreptitiously available to those who bear the mark of criminality. With the intention of convincing the skeptical cowboys, Buster endeavored to explain that his outward cleanliness and polite demeanor did not define his true nature as a criminal. Alas, his words fell on deaf ears, met with disbelief from every cowboy present. One particularly vocal cowboy scoffed at the notion of drinking alongside a swindler, refusing to associate with Buster. In response, our protagonist retorted with a scathing insult. In an instant, the challenge was laid before them, a duel to settle the dispute. However, before Buster could even reach for his weapon, his lightning-fast reflexes delivered a fatal blow to his adversary. What followed was an onslaught of mayhem, as Buster showcased his ruthless efficiency, dispatching each cowboy in the blink of an eye. With the dust settling, Buster, unscathed and unfazed, resumed his solitary journey. As time passed, Buster eventually arrived in a town that had thus far eluded his footsteps. True to his nature, he promptly made his way into a local tavern, seeking refuge from the outside world. However, the town's strict policy required him to relinquish his weapons to the vigilant guard stationed at the entrance. Reluctantly complying, Buster handed over his firearms, but unbeknownst to the authorities, he had cleverly concealed a pair of pistols within his shoes, always prepared for any encounter. Eager to join a group of poker players who had been abandoned by a player, Buster sought permission to join the game under the condition of playing with the cards already dealt. However, upon laying eyes on the discarded card, Buster flatly refused to participate. Amidst the tension, a player named Joe insisted that the card should still be played and resorted to brandishing his gun as a threat. Unperturbed, Buster remained composed and calmly requested that Joe relinquish his weapon to the custody of the establishment. To everyone's surprise, Buster's swift and skillful kicks to the table sent Joe's own firearm straight into his own face, leaving the room in a state of palpable tension. Justifying his actions as self-defense, Buster diffused the situation by serenading Joe with a song, eventually melting away the tension and enticing everyone to dance along. Their joyous escapade, however, was abruptly interrupted by the arrival of Joe's vengeful brother. Informed of the unfolding events, he challenged Buster to a duel, seeking retribution. Not one to shy away, Buster boldly accepted the challenge. With lightning speed and unwavering precision, Buster aimed his shots, skillfully targeting each finger of his opponent, rendering him defenseless. The duel reached its climax as Buster ingeniously eliminated his adversary through the deceptive reflection of a mirror. Once again, Buster proved himself as a formidable force to be reckoned with. Just as he prepared to pay tribute to his fallen foe through song, a harmonica-playing cowboy approached him. Known as the Kid, this cowboy had been relentlessly searching for Buster, wasting no time in inviting him to yet another fateful duel. Undeterred by his previous experiences, Buster fearlessly embraced the Kid's challenge, fueled by his unwavering confidence in his shooting prowess. However, to his astonishment, Buster's arrogance was swiftly shattered as he realized the Kid's bullet had pierced through his cherished hat. In a sudden twist of fate, Buster's adventure met its end at the hands of a cowboy quicker on the draw. As his spirit gracefully departs, Buster acknowledges the sobering truth that one cannot always remain on top, while his soul echoes a song once sung by the Kid. Meanwhile, in the vast expanse of New Mexico, a young cowboy discovers a solitary bank nestled in a remote location. Determined to seize its riches, he steps inside, greeted by an elderly teller. The teller enlightens him about the bank's unique purpose: to cater to customers hailing from 3 distinct regions, which necessitated its construction far away from any bustling city. Recounting tales of past robberies that met a gruesome fate, the teller's words are met with the cowboy's skepticism, deeming them as mere fabrications. Losing patience, the cowboy swiftly draws his gun, demanding the surrender of all the bank's wealth. In the face of imminent danger, the trembling teller pleads for permission to retrieve the money stashed beneath the counter. Fortuitously, the cowboy manages to evade a potentially fatal gunshot. Believing that the teller has escaped through the rear exit, the cowboy seizes the opportunity to collect the contents of the cash drawer. However, upon exiting the bank, his triumph is short-lived as he discovers a searing pain in his leg. Forced to seek refuge behind a nearby well, his stolen riches now pale in comparison to the perils that surround him. In a surprising turn of events, the teller emerges from his hiding place, his body shielded by an assortment of pots and pans, ready to take on the cowboy. Ingeniously utilizing these makeshift shields, the teller effortlessly deflects the bullets and swiftly subdues the would-be robber. As the cowboy regains consciousness, he finds himself bound to a sturdy tree, his fate in the hands of a group of determined law enforcers. Their intent is clear: to deliver a swift death sentence for his audacious attempted robbery. Moments before the execution, an unforeseen commotion erupts as a horde of Indian troops storms into the scene, launching a fierce attack. The clash of forces becomes inevitable, plunging the surroundings into chaos and uncertainty. Having vanquished all the law enforcers, an Indian leader, rather than setting the cowboy free, found amusement in the situation and ordered his men to leave the cowboy atop his horse. Thus, the cowboy found himself in a precarious predicament, desperately trying to prevent his horse from straying away from the tree where the noose tightly gripped his neck. Hours passed, and the cowboy's resolve never wavered. Just as hope seemed to fade, a fortuitous encounter unfolded. An unsuspecting shepherd happened upon the scene. Seizing the opportunity, the cowboy cried out for help, his plea reaching the shepherd's ears. With precise aim, the herder skillfully shot the rope, liberating the cowboy from the clutches of death. Realizing that the massacre had been orchestrated by the Indian troops, the herder extended his hand of assistance, allowing the cowboy to accompany him. However, their journey together was short-lived, for on the horizon, a group of horseback riders emerged. To the cowboy's astonishment, the herder abruptly fled, leaving him alone and vulnerable. Once again apprehended, the cowboy was led to a nearby town, now facing accusations of cattle theft. Unbeknownst to him, the herder, who had portrayed himself as a savior, was revealed as a treacherous thief. The judge wasted no time in passing a verdict, condemning the cowboy to the gallows. As he awaited his fate, his gaze caught sight of a captivating young woman among the crowd. In those final moments, beauty mingled with darkness, etching itself into his memory as a bittersweet farewell. Venturing into a distant land, where the lush scenery painted a vibrant green, an elderly man toiled away, diligently digging holes in search of gold. He methodically sifted through the gravel and sand, panning for glimmers of precious metal in the shallow stream. With each discovery of a small gold nugget, his determination grew stronger, propelling him to dig even deeper and explore further along the stream, chasing the elusive source of the golden treasure. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, the old man decided it was time to rest, seeking solace on the serene riverbank. With each new day, he resumed his tireless pursuit, persistently delving into the earth, driven by the hope of unearthing the mother lode. In this rugged pursuit, he relied on nature's provisions to sustain himself, fishing for sustenance and carefully collecting bird eggs from the safety of their lofty nests nestled in the trees above. Days of tireless digging had granted the man a keen sense of the gold's whereabouts. With newfound determination, he resolved to delve deeper into the earth. As time marched on, his calculations proved to be spot on, for he stumbled upon a glorious vein of gold embedded within a massive rock. Waves of elation washed over him, filling his spirit with triumph. Yet, his joy was short-lived, as a foreboding shadow engulfed the rock, alerting him to the presence of an unexpected observer. To his dismay, a menacing figure emerged, standing just outside the pit, gun aimed directly at him, unleashing a volley of bullets. In those heart-pounding moments, the old man lay still, his body motionless, awaiting the inevitable. However, as the tension settled and silence reigned, the young man, convinced of his victory, cautiously descended into the hole. But destiny had a different plan in store. In a swift and calculated move, the old man, defying the odds, overpowered the young intruder who sought to rob him of his newfound treasure. Emerging from the depths of the pit, he assessed the wound inflicted upon him. By fortune's grace, the bullet had spared his vital organs, granting him a chance at survival. Having recovered from his near-fatal encounter, the resolute man seized the following day as an opportunity to gather his precious bounty. Methodically, he buried the lifeless body of the would-be robber in a shallow grave, ensuring his dark secret remained hidden. With a triumphant heart, he embarked on his journey, echoing a victorious chant that celebrated his hard-earned victory. The story shifts focus to a pair of siblings, Gilbert and Alice, embarking on a momentous journey as they join a train convoy destined for the fertile lands of Oregon. Accompanying Gilbert is his faithful canine companion, a loyal friend by his side. Gilbert, known for his entrepreneurial spirit, has faced a series of misfortunes in his business ventures. However, fate has a unique twist in store, for he possesses a business partner who seeks to marry Alice upon their arrival in Oregon. As the night enveloped them in its quiet embrace, Alice awoke to the unsettling sound of Gilbert's violent coughs piercing through the darkness. It became apparent that Gilbert was battling the relentless grip of cholera, yet he stubbornly insisted on pressing forward, driven by his unwavering determination to secure a brighter future for his beloved sister. By morning's light, Alice was confronted with a heartbreaking sight. Gilbert had succumbed to the merciless illness that ravaged his weakened body. Overwhelmed by grief, Alice found solace in the company of Arthur and Billy, the leaders of their group, who offered her a choice to either abandon the arduous journey and return home or press on with them into the unknown. With no one left to lean on, Alice resolved to carry Gilbert's hopes and dreams upon her shoulders, forging ahead on the path they had embarked upon together. After bidding a tearful farewell and laying Gilbert to rest, they resumed their arduous journey, the weight of loss lingering in their hearts. As evening draped the landscape in hues of twilight, Alice approached Arthur and Billy, burdened with a newfound concern. She revealed that the person hired by Gilbert to tend to their carriage had collected only half of his promised salary. Gilbert, in his earnestness, had pledged a sum of $400, with the initial half paid upon reaching the halfway point of their journey. This predicament left Alice destitute, believing that the remaining funds lay buried alongside Gilbert's lifeless body, a treasure now out of reach. Billy, skeptical of the exorbitant salary promised, suspected foul play and suggested that Alice disregard the hired hand's demands. Furthermore, he divulged the grievances expressed by fellow travelers regarding Gilbert's dog incessantly barking throughout their voyage. Yet, Alice, resolute in her stance, asserted that the faithful canine belonged solely to Gilbert, absolving herself of any responsibility. As the journey pressed on, Billy took charge of the dog, relieving Alice of the responsibility. She continued seeking counsel from Billy, desperate to find a solution to the caretaker's persistent demand for payment. In a surprising turn of events, Billy mustered the courage to propose to Alice, driven by his desire to shoulder Gilbert's debts. He revealed that his years as a trained driver had instilled in him a longing for stability and family life. Alice, taken aback yet comforted by Billy's caring demeanor throughout their arduous journey, found herself both surprised and intrigued. Ultimately, she accepted Billy's heartfelt proposal, embracing the prospect of a shared future. Days later, during the course of their travels, Arthur stumbled upon fresh horse tracks, stirring a sense of unease within him. Concerned for the safety of the group, he conducted a head count, only to discover Alice's absence. The caretaker, in her absence, divulged that Alice had ventured off in pursuit of Gilbert's loyal barking companion. Filled with apprehension, Arthur wasted no time, embarking on a quest to locate and safeguard Alice from potential dangers that lay ahead. After an arduous journey, Arthur finally located Alice, who had been captivated by the incessant barking of the dog, drawn towards a playful prairie dog. As they stood there, a piercing gaze met their eyes, the watchful presence of an Indian observer. In a gesture of peace, Arthur extended a sign, but it was met with silence. The realization dawned upon them that they were not alone, and escape seemed futile. Bracing themselves for an imminent attack, Arthur recognized the strategic advantage provided by the prairie dog holes, a potential defense against their assailants. Filled with urgency, he armed Alice, instructing her to use the weapon to end her life should their defense falter, knowing that death would be preferable to capture by the Indians. Thus, the battle commenced, bound by the threads of inevitability. To their astonishment, the prairie dog's burrows proved to be an unexpected ally, toppling the Indian leader and forcing his troops into retreat. However, a sudden attack from an unseen warrior from behind a horse left Arthur incapacitated. In a calculated act of feigned unconsciousness, Arthur swiftly dispatched the approaching warrior, seizing the opportunity to neutralize the threat. Amidst the chaos, Arthur discovered Alice, lifeless and tragically deceived. Mistaking Arthur for dead, she had followed his advice, choosing to meet her end. With profound sorrow, Arthur tenderly covered Alice's lifeless form with his coat. With Gilbert's loyal dog by his side, Arthur made the somber decision to return to their group. Overwhelmed by the weight of the events that transpired, he grappled with the knowledge of what awaited him when facing Billy, uncertain of the words he would utter to convey the tragic outcome. Moral lesson from the story: life is unpredictable, and our actions can have unintended consequences. By staying true to ourselves, embracing humility, and valuing companionship, we can navigate through challenges, learn from our mistakes, and find strength in perseverance and adaptation.